This is the real thing. Airgrave.
One of my favorite game genres is the shoot 'em up, or shmup, even though I'm really bad at them. I just like shooting things and watching them explode. Nothing wrong with that. So I thought I'd get out good old Airgrave for the PlayStation, and give it a go even though I'm especially bad at shmups I haven't played in years.
B、D チームは敵機の迎撃に当たってください。AC チーム各機は当初の作戦通り敵前線基地に向かってください。
Airgrave was released in Japan in 1996 and is a vertically scrolling shooter. The game's got 8 explosive stages, with a storyline I can't really describe as it's all in Japanese and I still haven't even mastered English. But suffice it to say, there's bad guys causing trouble and you've got to shoot them up, which will cause them to explode and put a smile on my face. There's 4 characters to choose from, and each has his or her own storyline and, more importantly, a unique ship with specific characteristics for speed, defensive capabilities, and air and ground attack power. This game in a way is like Layer Section in that the action happens in layers, with both air and land targets. When you fire, you're simultaneously shooting air attacks and dropping bombs or pillows, but probably bombs, at the ground. As is typical for the genre, destroying certain enemies will cause them to drop weapon power-ups for you to grab. You also have the ability to directly target ground or lower level airborne enemies, and what's cool about this is that you don't just get to target a bunch of things, let the attack go, and that's it. In Airgrave, after releasing your attack, you can keep moving your targeting area over other enemies, and as long as you do it quick enough you can keep the chain of attacks going. I don't think you can keep this up indefinitely, but it can go for a little while. You don't have a standard screen-clearing bomb attack in Airgrave, but you do have your overdrive, which seems to basically just release an intense flurry of weaponry, including the ability to target ground forces. The overdrive attack lasts for a pretty long time, but you aren't invincible while the craziness is happening, so stay alert.
Vigilance.
Instead of a traditional system for extra lives, Airgrave instead gives your ship a certain amount of hit points, from 4 to 6 depending on which character you chose. And you can replenish lost HP if an enemy ship drops a lost HP replenishing power-up. But once you lose your last hit point, it's game over, unless you have a continue and choose to use it. But once you run out of those, it's really game over. One uncommon feature of Airgrave is the option to change the color of the enemy's bullets. There's 7 choices available, although not all are useful, as they make the bullets too hard to see. As I said, I'm not great at shmups, but I think Airgrave is a good one, with a healthy amount of levels, varied enemy attack patterns, 4 ships to choose from, and its 5 difficulty levels make it as easy or as hard as you want. The only area that might be a little bland is the boss battles, which are a little generic and might be easier than hardcore shmuppers prefer. They're just fine for me though. You don't seem to hear Airgrave being talked about much when people mention good shooters on the PlayStation, or at least I don't hear much talk about it. But I didn't attend ShmupCon this year, probably because that convention doesn't actually exist, or if it does I don't know about it. But if it does exist, my guess is that Airgrave wouldn't be the first shmup on people's minds. But while it might not be the most well-known or the most creative shmup ever, it is a good and satisfying game.